Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So I'm sure you all had read, but I'll just, for my sake of purification, to set the context, I will read the verse 42 and maybe a couple of verses, and then we'll discuss whatever time we have. Prayase pahate tasmin daityendra parishankitay chakratat vadhopayan nirbandena yudhishthira. My dear King Yudhishthira, when all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahlad Maharaj were futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakashipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. Diggajair Danda Shukendrair Abhicharavapatanai Mayabhihi Sannirodhaischa Garadhanairabhojanai Himavaivagnishalilai Parvatakramanai Nashashaka Yada Hantum Apapam Asurasutam Chintam Dirgatamatam Praptas Tatkartum Nabhayapadyata. Hiranyakashipu could not kill his son by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants, throwing him among huge, fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of a hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, wind, fire, and water, or throwing heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlad, who was completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next. Yeshame bhava asha dukto padopayascha nirmita taistai drohir asadharmair muktasvenaiva tejasa. Hiranyakashipu thought, I have used many ill names in chastising this boy Prahlada and have devised many means of killing him. But despite all my endeavors, he could not be killed. Indeed, he saved himself by his own powers without being affected in the least by these treacheries and abominable actions. Text 46. Vartamano vidure vai balopi ajatat divyayam na vishmarati me naryam sunashepa eva prabhu. Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. He resembles a dog's curved tail, which can never be straightened because he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master, Lord Vishnu. Purport: the word Suna means of a dog and the Sepa means tail. The example is ordinary. However, one may try to straighten a dog's tail. It is never straight but always curved. Sunashepa is also the name of the second son of Ajigartha. He was sold to Harishchandra, but he later took shelter of Vishwamitra, Harishchandra's enemy, and never left his side. We will read a couple of verses more. Text 47. Aprameyanubhavoyam akutachit bhayo mara nunam etad virodena mrityurme bhavita nava. I can see that this boy's strength is unlimited, for he has not feared any of my punishments. He appears immortal, therefore, because of my enmity toward him, I shall die, or maybe this will not take place. Iti tak chintaya kinchin mlana shriyam ado mukam sandamarkav ashunashav vivikta iti ho chatau. Thinking in this way, the king of Daityas, morose and bereft of bodily luster, remained silent with his face downward. Then Sanda and Amarka, the two sons of Sukracharya, spoke to him in secret. We will read till this verse, till text 48. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Once again, thank you and sorry for the delay that I had to log in. It's a very interesting situation. Many a times in our life, we think when we have resources, when we have wealth, when we have power, we think we are unconquerable or nothing will come our way. This propensity is demoniac. The person who assumes or understands that all that he possesses, name, fame, power, beauty, strength, knowledge, because of these possessions, he starts to think that he is powerful, he is successful. That very moment, he shows his failure. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that because of one's ahankar, one thinks he is the doer. But in this 6-7 verses that we read today, it is explained. It is because of one's fear. One is not able to accept the success of others. I repeat, a person who has ahankar, who is proud, he always thinks that he is the doer. But there is one other category who is fearful of losing his power, losing his position, losing his things. He behaves in a manner to pull the other person down. I'll give you examples. Whenever any person who performs some severe austerities and try to make progress, Indra gets restless. Here we are portraying Indra as a bad person, but Indra is a good devotee, but sometimes have got some insecurities. Or he plays the role of a person with insecurities. So, when Prithu Maharaj was performing fire sacrifice, Indra disturbed. When Krishna was trying to perform Govardhan Puja, Indra got upset. When Yayati was performing, fire sacrifice, tapasya, or performing some severe Vaishnava practices, Indra was upset. And here we see Hiranyakashipu. He is trying to disturb Prahlad Maharaj because not only he wants to acquire and keep the resources with himself, he does not want anyone else to be successful. So there are different classes of men. First class men are those who learn from others' mistake. Second class men are those who learn from their own mistake, or at least being told that it is your mistake. Third class men are those who not only commit mistakes, but he does not want to change. So third class man, even after told, he will not change. Fourth class men are those who stops the other person from changing. And fifth class men are the one who not only stops the other person from changing, they will encourage and push people to follow the fifth class lifestyle. Otherwise, they will harm. So Hiranyakashipu is demonstrating his fifth class nature, which is much lower than Chandala. First class is Brahmana. Fifth class is Chandala, or even worse than that, Mlechas. But this demoniac propensity is much, much worse than them. Because it is not only they are ahankaris, it is not only they are thinking that they are the doers, it is not only that they want everyone else to surrender to them, it is that they do not want other apparently successful people to survive. It is explained that when a competition comes up in life, these people are so against competition that they want to kill the competition to have their monopoly. The exact opposite is Vaishnavism, where they want each and everyone to enjoy the benefit, each and everyone to glorify the Lord, each and everyone to make progress ahead of us, each and everyone should remain happy, and for that, a Vaishnava is ready to take any amount of pain. There was a devotee by name Vasudeva Datta. He was so kind in his heart. He told, let the suffering of all the human beings across the universe may come to me. I will take up everyone's suffering and let everyone else get the blessings of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj, when he finished his ruling, or when he was ruling, he said that I will stay here till all my fellow members and followers, they are able to make necessary progress. We can see life of Vaishnavas are based on complete compassion, and a life of demon are based on fear and revenge. Fear because they do not want to lose. Revenge because they always want no competition. So this revengeful mentality, or the what we call as a terrorizing mentality, may sound that they are brave. But Prabhupada and Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narada Muni explains to Yudhishthira Maharaj here that it is not bravery, it is absolute coward, absolute fearfulness. So our first reflection in this current context is, if at any point in time we get restless towards others being progressing in Krishna consciousness, we get sad when some other devotees in our community are getting appreciation. We get butterflies flying in our belly if some of our fellow members are making progress ahead of us. We need to understand that we are becoming victim of Hiranyakashipu mentality. So it is to be noted that a person with such a revengeful and terrorizing mentality can all do is he can harm, disrupt, disturb the situation. He cannot do anything productive. And the biggest challenge for them is about the mentality of Vaishnavas being successful and unconquerable. It is not that Hiranyakashipu tried once or twice. Look at the laundry list that what all Hiranyakashipu tried upon his own son. The gravity of this problem is so intense that a person becomes blind about his own existence. I am harming my own son. I am harming my own sister. I am harming my own father. Such a feeling is gone. Kamsa harmed his own sister, brother-in-law, father, mother. Ravana was harming his own brother, his own family. Vaishnavas, they are ready to harm themselves, put themselves in trouble for serving the Supreme Lord. So my first reflection is about a very important, striking difference and a warning. The striking difference between a Vaishnava and a demoniac person is, a demoniac person is fifth class or worse than fifth class. A Vaishnava is first class. A demoniac person is always fearful in the garb of bravery and revengeful in the garb of showing his power. His intention is revenge and he cannot tolerate somebody else being successful. Whereas a Vaishnava always want everybody else to be successful. The more the devotees are happy with Krishna, the more the Krishna is happy with his devotees, Vaishnava is pleased. So in our personal lives, as we have always said many times, we have demons sitting within our heart. So when we have such propensities in our heart, where we are getting restless in others' success, we are not getting happy when our fellow devotees, community members are making progress, when we are getting angry when our fellow members or family getting necessary recognition, we need to immediately conclude that we are affected by virus Hiranyakashipu, the mentality of Hiranyakashipu, because the demon within ourselves is going to devour. So better to get ourselves admitted in the hospital of Krishna consciousness and clear this virus from the heart once for all before this virus is becoming contagious. So to conclude my first reflection, I want to say that this propensity is contagious. This propensity of Hiranyakashipu over here is something that if it gets manifested within ourselves, then we should definitely forewarn ourselves, forewarn our near and dear ones, saying that I am getting sick. So please be careful, because this can completely uproot our devotional creeper. Prahlad Maharaj, on the contrary, he was completely unaffected. And Prahlad Maharaj, he put himself through this entire set of experience, and he continued to remain blissful. So this opens up the second reflection, which is about that when a practicing devotee, when he understands the science of Krishna consciousness, what is that science that he understands? The understanding is Krishna will not let me down. If Krishna decides to let me down, no one else in this world can save me. So because Prahlad Maharaj was absolutely confident, that is why one of the characteristics of a surrendered, self-realized soul is fearlessness. Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So because of this fearlessness, they will be able to perform so peacefully at every possible circumstances. Srila Prabhupada, when he had all the amenities, he did service. When Srila Prabhupada was deprived of amenities, he did serve. So there was nothing external that bothered Prabhupada. Rather, in challenges, in those difficult moments, the intensity, the vigor only went up, not went down. When Radha Rasibihari temple inauguration was challenged, when acquiring of the land in Juhu temple, when it was challenged, Srila Prabhupada performed. Srila Prabhupada was able to continue his missionary work, because he knew ultimately Krishna is the controller and Krishna has his own plan. So my second reflection is that as a practicing devotee, we need to constantly check how much my fearlessness is gone. We are fearing for unnecessary things, and we are not fearing for something that is necessary. So I would like to discuss my second reflection by listing what all things a practicing devotee is supposed to be fearing, and what all things that a practicing devotee need not, should not fear. The science of fearing and fearlessness, if it is not properly applied, a practicing devotee can actually get completely shaken in his fundamental faith in Krishna consciousness because of this fearfulness. It is explained that those who are sincere and serious practitioners, they don't fear to speak about Krishna. They don't fear to be an odd man out, even if need be, that if they have to walk alone, in the sense that if others' views are not matching with their views, because they know for sure this is something is philosophically correct, principally to be followed, and I have to apply this in my life, they will not mind. Like in this case, Prahlad Maharaj. And those who are surrendered souls does not fear to speak about, glorify about, and present about Krishna consciousness to every possible forum and to apply in his own personal life. So, in the sense that as a practicing devotee, they will be very much bold. Prabhupada explains a Vaishnava is as soft as lotus petal and as hard as thunderbolt, meaning he is very much ready to do anything for Srila Prabhupada, for the preaching mission. We have heard devotees cooking prasadam in war zone to serve Vaishnavas. We have heard devotees serving Radha Madhav during floods when the entire Mayapur Dham was under the water. Radha Madhav, Narsinghadev, Panchatattva Puja was still going on. Nothing will deter them in serving Krishna. No obstacle is an obstacle for them when it comes to Krishna. And the biggest obstacle is not able to serve Krishna is will be their biggest fear. That was Haridas Thakur's statement to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, my dear Haridas, what is your biggest fear? Haridas Thakur said, my fear is that I will not be able to complete my, chanting. I'm not sure how many days we were fearful of, such a propensity. And one other interesting, scenario that these people are not afraid of, as surrendered souls, they are not afraid of, is they are not afraid of apasampradayis. They are like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He went and challenged and established. He is not going to be afraid, saying that no, I will not know, I do not know this. They will go and try to establish. Whatever I said, all these 4 points are 4 different phases of the same agenda, which is I have complete confidence. Rakshishadi Vishwaso. Krishna is going to, protect me, help me, and I will be able to practice Krishna consciousness nicely. At the same time, these practicing devotees, they are afraid of something. What are they afraid of? They are afraid of Vaishnava Aparad. They are afraid of bad association. They are afraid of, any amount of hearing the blasphemy about anyone. One is they will not offend anyone. Second is they will not associate with, bad association. Third is they will not want to even hear anything bad about them. So if at all, if this component of fear have to be dovetailed, dovetail it in proper way so that we avoid Vaishnava Aparad. So this is my second reflection, to say that how Prahlad Maharaj, he was absolutely fearless because of him very clearly convinced that Rakshishari Vishwaso, that Krishna will protect me, and Krishna, if he has decided to protect, nothing will happen to me. I am not sure if he came across with any one verse wherein it is mentioned that how fearful Prahlad Maharaj's face was, how he was crying, how he was looking for some support, how he was, planning to do some strategic planning to make sure that he can safeguard himself. No. A similar example is Ambarish Maharaj when, Durvasa Muni, brought a Brahma Rakshasa. When Durvasa Muni was upset that Ambarish Maharaj broke the fasting without Durvasa Muni in the picture, so he created the Brahma Rakshasa to kill Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was absolutely fearless. So what he thought of doing on Ambarish Maharaj happened to himself, that the Sudarshana Chakra started chasing Durvasa Muni. So the third message and the last message of this current text is, anyone who wish to harm, anyone who wish to create a disturbance in a Vaishnava's life, they will be the recipient of those disturbances along with interest. The very famous story of Gopala Chappal. Gopala Chappal, he had a misunderstanding, or he had a fight with Srivas Thakur. And Srivas Thakur was such a wonderful devotee that Gopala Chapal offended him. In due course, Gopala Chapal developed leprosy. But his disease went so acute that a point in time came that he couldn't control the pain. He was feeling so much of irritation. Then Gopala Chapal went to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying that, my dear Mahaprabhu, I am sorry. I tried and tested all different ways to cure my disease, but then I am not able to get rid of the situation. I tried all medicines. I tried all sorts of approach. So please relieve me of this pain. Mahaprabhu said, I cannot. It is not in my hands. If at all anyone can help you, it can only be Srivas Thakur. Unless Srivas Thakur forgives you, no one in this world can save you, not only in this life, but as many life as you may take, you will suffer. I will see to that you will suffer. This was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement. So he went to Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu said, unless Srivas Thakur bestows his benediction upon you. So my third reflection is, anyone who tried to harm a Vaishnava, in turn gets the ill effect. Daksha was trying to humiliate Lord Shiva. Eventually, he had to surrender to Lord Shiva. Gopala Jabal had to surrender to Srivas Thakur. Indra had to surrender to Krishna. Brahma had to surrender to Krishna. So we have zillion examples where if you try to harm a noble cause, harm a devotional cause, try to, disturb a Krishna conscious endeavor, try to, think of ill of a Vaishnava, then we will become victim of the same that we are trying to think about others. So my third reflection is that it is Hiranyakashipu who is going to be at the receiving end for all that he has done to his own son. Hiranyakashipu, up till this point in time, has not realized he was doing mistake because he was thinking that I have enough resources. Ravana had the same mentality. Ravana was repeatedly warned. Ravana had repeatedly been told by many, many people, starting from Hanuman, Mandodari, Vibhishana, Bali Maharaj, so many of his friends, they said, please give up. And finally, Lord Ramachandra himself gave him an offer, saying that for whatever mistakes that you had done so far up till this point in time, I am ready to forgive. Please give back my wife. And the offer is, I will not only forgive you, I will also provide additional support to you whenever you are in need. I will try to come to your support. So, but Ravana denied. The reason is, he thought, when I have resources, I am successful. Duryodhana, before the Mahabharat war, when they went to see Krishna, Krishna had both Arjuna and Duryodhana there in the room, and both of them had come there to seek blessings. And Krishna was sleeping at that time. When Krishna woke up, Krishna first asked Arjuna, I'm sure you are here for something. What do you want? And Krishna knew that they have come for seeking blessings. I said that I am ready to give you both something, and here is my offer. I will give you both something to pick up. One is I will personally participate in the war. Second is I will give my entire army to the other person. So in the back of the heart, Duryodhana is praying seriously. He is desiring that let Arjuna not get entire army. And what is Arjuna praying? Somehow Krishna comes to me. And Krishna gave Arjuna the first offer. So Arjuna picked up Krishna, you come. And Duryodhana was relieved. So this is the mentality of the propensity of the demoniac person. So to conclude this entire, three sets of reflections, we want to say that how Srimad Bhagavatam actually provides solution to all that we discussed. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, 7th shloka, which is a very famous shloka, 177. In that it is said, Yasyam yavai shruyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsa shoka moha baya bhagaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So the bottom line, why Prahlad Maharaj was so confident, so brave, so happy, in spite of all this torture that were given to him, is because he was a Bhagavata and he has given oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam from a wonderful Bhagavata by name Narada Muni. And as it is explained in this shloka, such a person in his heart, at that instance, he will get the lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. The fire of these three things gets extinguished and they remain completely sane. So the point is, Srila Prahlad Maharaj, because of him being a Bhagavata, because of him being an associate of a Bhagavata, he could not be part of the fifth class men. He somehow or other managed and demonstrated the power of pure devotional service. So to summarize our three reflections, our first reflection is about the difference between fifth class men and Vaishnava. And we discussed that how fifth class men thinks that ahankara, by ahankara, but by acquiring of resource, he is greater, he is bigger, he is the doer, and he focuses on more and more acquisition and more power and more accomplishments. And because of that, he is always having the mentality of fearfulness. He's having the mentality of being revengeful, that he doesn't want anybody else to succeed. On the converse, Vaishnavas are very kind and they want everyone to be a success. And by just being with that mentality, they get Krishna by their side, the Supreme Lord by their side, which means no one else can conquer. And as a second reflection, we want to say that how fearfulness as a quotient is supposed to be properly understood. A devotee should be able to fear for some things which are detrimental to Krishna consciousness, like Vaishnava Aparadh, blaspheming to a devotee, arguments of devotees, harming a devotee, any amount of pain inflicted upon a devotee. We will be fearful of that and not do that. And we will not fear for chanting, glorifying, discussing, preaching, presenting, applying Krishna consciousness publicly, because they know that Krishna consciousness is an eternal and a blissful process. And last but not least, a person who is part of such an existence, in terms of who is part of such an ecosystem where Asuric mentality has taken over. So if he takes shelter of a Bhagavata, just by hearing the words of Bhagavata, just by hearing the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shoka, Moha, Bhayapakaha. So all these three things gets mitigated from the root by somebody studying Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, the intensity of these people are so high that even the person in front of them is their own son, their own family. They will not be able to spare them. So hence, we should embrace Srimad Bhagavatam, studying of Srimad Bhagavatam under a bona fide Bhagavata. That way, Hridayantasto hi abhadrani vidunotim suhrit satam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is our solution for us to keep Krishna in the center, make sure that we do not become fifth class men, make sure that we are always able to apply the quality of fear in the right manner. So, thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. And I'm sorry once again to have logged in late.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Surendra Bhandari. I have one question. I am just like a toddler in Krishna ISKCON and all. And I have one question. You are saying again and again, sorry and sorry, sorry. I think this is what I've been learned during my class and all. This is all Krishna wish. You should not feel sorry and sorry again and again.
That was so kind of you to have said that, but I should have been more careful. I knew that I have a class to give, but then I had my own planning to go and come back soon. I agree that at the end of the day, Krishna is the controller, but I need to take responsibility for my action, because if I do not take responsibility for the action and take these slips lightly, then I will tend to become lethargic. So the reason I'm saying sorry is for two things. Number one, that value the way you value the other person, it is very important. And number two is that the way you take up the challenges and disturbances that come to your way. If I am taking it lightly, then next time I will, okay, these people anyway will wait for 15-20 minutes, so I can go my own pace. I should not take things for granted. But so kind of you to say that, it's you are seeing it as Krishna's hand and being considerate. But as a person who have taken the responsibility to log in, I should be also equally careful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Geeta. Thank you so much for very inspiring class today. I just wanted to ask you is that, yes, we have been learning, and it is important to be very, very mindful of how we deal with Vaishnavas and all that. But if suppose, hypothetically, if we have a Vaishnava in front of us and a non-devotee, how do do we take a non-devotee very lightly? Because at the end of the day, Lord Krishna is also residing in a non-devotee, right? I know Lord Krishna is very, very sensitive to his devotees and all that. But how do we deal with the situation if we have a non-devotee vis-a-vis a Vaishnava in front of us? I mean, I'm not able to understand how we should be dealing like that, So,
Thank you so much for your wonderful question. I have just a question. Are you married, Mataji?
yes, Prabhuji, I'm married.
You have a kid?
No.
Okay. If a mother goes to a school to see or pick up the child has got 20 other friends in the classroom. Suppose the child is 2-year-old or 5-year-old. So when you go in the classroom, the love and the affection the mother have for her own child, and the kind of love and affection the mother will show to the other children. It is not that the mother is, when other children are going to run towards her or, come and express their love, they will not be treated properly. The idea is that when there is a Vaishnava, when there is other person, definitely respect is supposed to be given to everyone. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunicheva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. You are supposed to see everyone in connection with Krishna. At the same time, you should know who is to be respected and associated and seek knowledge from, who is the one to whom I am supposed to give association, teach, who is the one to whom I am supposed to share and have exchanges, who is the one I am supposed to have only transaction, who is the one with whom I am supposed to be avoiding, and who is the one I am supposed to condemn. All of them, with all these 6 categories that I said, you have to show respect. Respect is is completely non-connected with anything else. You are supposed to respect. That's all. Whether they are devotee or non-devotee, show respect. But how do you conduct yourself? To a senior, you surrender and learn. To your junior, you show kindness and teach. To your equals, to show your friendliness and share. And to somebody with whom I am supposed to do my professional materialistic dealings, have transactional dealings. And to those who are what do you call as who are having those who are having characteristics of a bad people, you avoid their association. And there are some whose association you need to condemn. Not only you avoid, you make sure others also avoid. So these are all 6 different classifications, right from the topmost, surrender to learn, to bottommost, to condemn. All these are done in our daily life. All we need to do is that we need to have the proper classification and associate with them. And to none of them you will be harmful, or none of them you will be speaking hurting or trying to show them down. Prahlad Maharaj never did that. If you see Prahlad Maharaj's life, Prahlad Maharaj never once disrespected his father, disrespected his teachers, but never once he followed what he said. So you are always having an option of not obeying someone, but you have no option of disrespecting anyone. Don't disrespect anyone. You may disagree, disobey because of the principles that you subscribe to. So we can coexist, but when you coexist, you will know how you deal with them. I'll give you one more example and stop. When in our own family, somebody is having contagious disease during COVID time, your own husband, your own family, your own children, your own near and dear ones, when they are affected with this COVID, we do not go and sit with them. We quarantine them. Even though they are our own near and dear ones, even though we still take care of them, we love them. So all we are trying to say is that choose your association wisely and reciprocate accordingly. Krishna does that. Yeyatam mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham mama vartamano vartante manushya partha sarvasaha. So Krishna is very careful and try to associate with each and everyone very prudently. And the same prudence is expected, from us. So if we do not show that prudence, then we will be victim of our own choices. Am I making some sense here?
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely. Thank you so much. That's very
Hare
helpful.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, always Mr. Prabhupada, for such a nice class reflecting upon the demonic propensities, which not only tries to, like a kripana, accumulate all the wealth, all the opulence, wealth, fame, strength, beauty, except for renunciation, of course. But also is envious of anybody else getting them. That reflects with what Krishna says at the outset in chapter 16. And Dambhadarva Abhimanasya Abhiman. So he is Abhimani, that he has all the material wealth and other things, anything material, and he cannot give does not want to give the position to anybody else. This is perfectly summed up in your 3 reflections, and you rightly pointed out that the Yashambai Srimanayam Krishna Parapurushe Bhakti Utpadasya Pumsam Shoka Maha Bhayapaha, which has been correctly nicely carried by the wonderful devotee Prahlad Maharaj, and how he was fearless in spite of all these things, and still Krishna was protecting him, and how frustrated the demon was, his father was, in spite of, for not being able to kill him. And it perfectly reflects that that adage, right? We have the Rakhe Hori Mare Ke Mare Hori Rakhe Ke. So Krishna wants to protect anybody, nobody can kill him, and Krishna wants, it will come that next we'll see. Krishna wants to kill somebody, nobody can protect him. So it's very nice to reflect, because we are always surrounded by demoniac people. The society is demoniac. The bhogi culture, the sense gratificatory culture across America, and now in India also to great extent, is so much demoniac that we unless we rightly you said that you have to identify, you have to discriminate with our knowledge of the scripture, what is who is to be treated in which way, and how to deal with them. So has to be to know that to differentiate the milk from the water, like a the ideal example, Paramahansa. So we are on the, we are trying to be do some applied discrimination, and yet be respectful and with as a emblem of Vaishnava etiquette. Yes, your classes are so much nice and point wise and bulleted, and so we can reflect upon those points, which helps us. Your session is very much valued, and your classes are so nectarian. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. All glory to Prabhupada. Very kind of you to have said that, and thanks for your references and appreciation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. But I just thought about your, sorry, somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced, and I really, find a lot of logic in all the 6 examples you gave. However, also, as we move towards our progress in our spiritual life, we are also told that we should, a person who's able to, no, we are not, at least I am not nowhere close to it, is able to treat your friend and enemy the same, then you're moving towards, liberation. That's the goal eventually, which whenever that'll happen. But so maybe in some ways, yes, and how to conduct ourselves and differentiate. That's why they say Viveka is very important. That's how we'll deal with the way you mentioned. But eventually we have to, so this is a little confusing, because Samadarshani, like equal, look at everybody, don't differentiate, don't look at those. One has to be above and beyond all that. That's also one way of thinking. Isn't that so?
Okay, I'll ask you a scenario. Suppose, for example, if you make a mistake, and what do you want your near and dear one to do? we always want them to understand us, forgive us, give us another chance. Suppose if we make the mistake repeatedly, at what point in time you are okay for somebody to be upset on you? In general, we will assume that no, I'm never a person who make repeated mistakes. But there are many times you don't even know you are making a mistake and you're repeatedly hurting someone. And when somebody points out that to you, you meaning you, me, anyone, so we get hurt. But when we come to some senses, we say, oh, I should be accommodated. I should be given a chance. Take it a little softer. This is exactly not the punishment I should be getting. But when the same thing it is upon somebody else, we have a problem. The reason I'm saying this is, Chanakya Pandita says, who is a learned person? He says, Matrivat Paradareshu, Paradravyeshu Lostravat, Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, Ya Paschati Sa Pandita. He says, who is a learned person? Of all the things he says, one who treats other person the way you wish yourself to be treated. It is one of the characteristics. So it is very important to reflect upon this point when we talk about Samadarshini. We need to understand that the other person is not doing the mistakes purposely. Why was Prahlad Maharaj not getting angry? Because he knew his father was ignorant. He knew his father is stuck into some sort of an intoxicated state. How much angry you will be on a drunkard person? Well, there is any value to be angry on that person. That is why they say hate the sin, but not the sinner. It is easily said than done. Now I come to the point of, which means, can I never express? You can. How this is handled? When somebody is hurting Geeta Mataji, Ram Giridhari should not be silent. When somebody is hurting Ram Giridhari should be silent. When somebody is hurting Geeta Mataji, somebody is hurting Partha Prabhu, somebody is hurting Rupini Padma Mataji or any devotee in front of me, that's when you should consolidate all your quotient anger and go and try to stop that nonsense. So the idea is, we need to know when to use a hatyar, when to use a weapon, when to use something to stop something or do something. So Vaishnavism says, when challenges are come upon me, which means three things. Number one, Krishna knew what he is doing because it is directly Krishna's plan. Number two, I deserve this because of my past. Number three, this is an opportunity for me to get corrected. The example is given as dog's tail. A Vaishnava's behavior is so set, so predicted that nobody can change. It is like a dog's tail. They are committed to Krishna. So the whole science of Krishna consciousness is very scientific, and only thing is that we need some little heart to understand them in the right association. Am I making some sense here?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Great.
With your kind permission, Prabhu, if I can add something.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Gita Mataji's question. So I will give you a small example. So supposing there is a tree. So the point is that at our early stage, when you are Kanishta Adhikaris, we are susceptible to be drawn towards the lower modes of material nature like Tamaguna or Rajaguna, whereas we are trying to go to at least to Sataguna as a sadhaka. So our association is the way through which the gunas transfer, right? So we have to be careful about association to people in the lower modes. That's why discrimination is required. But when we are at a Paramahamsa stage, then we of course do a Samadarshina, that is Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahmana Gami Hastini Sunichaiva Sapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. So he says Everybody has he is Samadarshi to everybody, not at the body level, but at the soul level. Body level, of course, there is a difference. One is poor, one is rich, one is woman body, one is man body, one is born in a Brahmana family, one is born in a Sudra family. So body-wise, there difference, but the Pandita Samadarshina is at the soul level. That is one. Another example would be that when we have a tree, we want to plant a tree. So for example, right, Vriksharopan. So what we do is we plant a sapling and then we put a fence around so that the cows and the goats cannot eat them. So that is that sapling, that small plant is a Kanishtha. So there is a protection required so that it can grow up. When the when that sapling grows up to little half the height or something, little more, then maybe we need a smaller fence. But when that sapling and that plant grows to become a big tree, it can has so many leaves, so many branches. It's a strong stem, and it can support many birds, and it can give shade. Then there is no need of that fence. So that small thing is a Kanishtha Adhikari, the medium thing is a Madhyam Adhikari, the top thing is a Uttam Adhikari or Paramahansa Mahabhagvat. So the Mahabhagvat level, he doesn't need a fence. He actually will give shelter to others. He will protect others from rain and cold or whatever, right? So that is what. But our purpose as sadhaka is to come up to that level, so we need the protection. That's what I wanted to just add here. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Pataji. That was beautiful. Thank you.
No problem. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else has any other questions or comments? Thank you so much for your, wonderful association once again. Looking forward for the Sangha again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this nectar class and last minute thing happened. So, but we are fortunate to have your guidance today, and we are looking forward. So the last verse you took is 46, Prabhuji, right?
48.
48. Okay. So 49 on Monday. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So let's
Thank you, Prabhuji,
question or comment
for your wonderful association.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class and question answers.
Every time we gain, Prabhuji, something from you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Lovely class. Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Always welcome.
Yes, Vancha Kalpatarvasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, नमाचार्य ठाकुर की जय, शंकरपाद की जय, ग्रंथ राशि में भागवतम की जय, हिज ग्रेस राम गिरधारी प्रभु जी की जय. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.